Are you calling us old?
Yes. So joining us again on That Figure Skating Show, we have the legendary Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier. Hey guys, welcome back to the show yet again. How are you feeling? How are you?
Doing great. It's been a lovely day. We have the day off, so it's kind of nice to sit at home and prepare for all the packing and collecting all the things that we need to be in Japan for a month. So I think we're doing great.
Yeah, same. I'm really enjoying having this Monday off. It's good for my body. It's good for my spirit. There's that little voice in my head that's like completely panicked because there's so much left to do this week. And it's not the skating. The skating is actually good. I feel confident. I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do to prepare. It's all the other tasks that need to be accomplished in the next week. Just making sure everything's ready, making sure you have everything that you need while you're away, all your creature comforts for a competition. So there's that little like panic voice in my head, but I'm trying to mute it as much as I can right now.
Honestly, for me, the worst part of competition was packing. It was very stressful. I do not know why. How many kimonos do I need? But let's get right into it. You recently posted on Instagram giving us an update on training, and it goes as follows. Training for Worlds after having surgery has come with its challenges, but we've been putting in the work and things are right back where we want them to be. Some days are harder than others, but we've continued to believe in ourselves and can't wait to be back performing for all of you. So tell us about your surgery experience. How are you feeling and healing? And of course, tell us about some of those challenges in your day-to-day training as you're heading into Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last few months have been kind of a whirlwind. We've had so many successes while there were so many other unknowns playing in the background. And as an athlete, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna have surgery. I'm gonna be back on the ice in like 2 weeks, no problem. I'm gonna be ready for nationals. Like totally delusional with the whole situation as like your insides are not together at that point in time. So for me, it was more of a reality check when I had to sit out a little bit longer than I thought I would. And I had a couple infections in between, and these are all the things that come with surgery, and you just have no clue how your body's going to react to the situation. But I was super lucky to have like a team in place that every day I knew what I was going to do. I was able to be on the ice, I think around week 2, but I literally had like a fast track lane, like in Learn to Skate. And that was all I could move around in. And, you know, we took every precaution by wearing braces, but it was hard because I just felt like there were some days where I felt so good and I would want to push more. But then I know if I push more, then a couple days later, I could be way more fatigued than I was during that day. So I found it was really hard to kind of juggle like how much to push and how much to pull back. And but again, I felt like having Paul there and having our coaches, like they were kind of my voice of reason a lot of the time, because again, I just wanted to be ready and be back for everybody. But I feel like where we are right now, it just feels like everything kind of is finally clicking. And I feel like the programs have improved even more because we've taken the time to slowly develop them again and get comfortable performing them. And I think it's just going to bring another level of a performance and connection with people because it's just going to be a whole nother layer of us.
And Paul, how has this experience been for you supporting Piper and what have the coaches, what have you and the coaches been doing to help her along into getting back to the caliber that you guys want for Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is out of our hands. Even a lot of it is out of Piper's hands. There's just like the part where the body needs to heal and you have to allow the body to heal. And that's in none of our hands. So I think, you know, for the rest of us, and I think this was Piper's approach as well for that matter, really the goal was to have everything in place so that the body can do its job. The only thing, of course, I don't want to say as an outsider, but, you know, I'm not there. I'm not feeling how Piper's feeling. etc. And this is always what happens in a partnership when one of the partners is injured. This is a very common thing in our sport. Communication is really the biggest thing, really taking the time to understand how the other person's feeling, what they feel up to that day, what's going through their mind. And those are just the constant conversations you need to have so that the expectations are set. And every day when you get on the ice or you get to training, you have a plan in place of what you're going to be able to accomplish that day. And really the goal whenever you're recovering from an injury is to figure out what are my restrictions, what are my limitations, and based on those restrictions, how can I maximize this training day to get to where I want to get to? So that was just really a task that we approached as a team, and that we would kind of decide together collectively based on all of the medical information that we had. And as Piper said, we had such a great medical team helping her through that. And really that's it. Like it's of course, you know, we've had a successful season. There are lots of expectations that we have, and we want to be able to compete and be successful. And so there's the psychology of that playing in the background, and the emotions and the feelings and the fears of not being ready, or what if this doesn't follow the timeline I expected, and things like that. But the actual doing of the training and the recovery is pretty straightforward. You just every day you figure out how you're feeling, and then you make a plan that's going to help you get to where you want to get to. And I think we always say in skating that the actual skating is usually the easiest part. It's the managing of the rest that's always a little bit more complicated, and making sure everyone's emotionally in the right place, psychologically in the right place, and on the same page.
Well, I'm glad you guys are feeling good and back into training and hitting that stride that, and you're feeling prepared going into Worlds. You've talked about this being your best season thus far internationally, but let's talk about the vehicles that you've been using to reach those goals. The rhythm dance, polished, finished, sexy, one of my favorites of the season, but of course, the Evita free program, you know, when I was training with you guys, even with Paul, when you used to actually skate with Vanessa, there was always the Evita question. And then when Piper came, you guys also fell in love with Evita together. So every year there was like, are we doing it? It was almost like Mariah Carey before Christmas, like, not yet, not yet.
Not yet, not yet, not yet. Rise and shine.
But now we are at the yet, and it has been such a successful season for you, undefeated Grand Prix Final win. What does it mean to you to finally be able to do this program? Why did you choose it post-Ollie? And also, what does it mean to you to finally be able to do this program and to receive the success you have this season?
I don't know. I think that's tough. I think, as you know, after being an athlete, like you just never know what's going to be the right decision from year to year, right? And I think Paul and I were at this place with coming into the season where we really didn't know whether or not what we were even doing. And I think we came back to the rink with absolutely no plan. And I think the universe just kind of fell at our lap, and it was like, it is time to do Evita, because we had passed years of editing this program and it never really working. And I think it was just some wave in the universe is like, this is your Evita year. This is your Evita moment. And don't think twice about it. And I think that's what's made this year so special for us, is that we haven't second guessed what we've done. Any decision that we've made, we're like, okay, this is the decision that we're doing. Don't double think it. And I think that's kind of what happened last year, is that with the Olympics, like we were always like, are we doing the right thing? Do we need to change this section? Are we doing the right lift? Like anything that we're doing this season is with complete confidence, and we're just going. We're not thinking twice. And I think even going into Worlds, I think we're so confident in our abilities, and we're so confident in knowing that the two of us are going to show up for each other. So I think when we skate Evita, I think that's really, there's so much reassurance with us and the audience and how we connect, because they know that we're going to present it no matter what. And I think that's what Paul and I've learned over the years, is performing under any circumstances, healthy, not healthy, happy, whatever, right? It's just bringing ourselves in that moment, being confident and not second guessing us and our ability, because I think that's what's made us so special. And I think why Avita is working for us. Like, it's just, we're just going with it, you know, no second guessing anything this year.
Again, it's been incredible to watch, obviously, this season, to finally get to see you do Avita after its long anticipation, as your fellow trainer and competitor, and now as a spectator and host. So it's really cool to see it not only be done so well, and you can feel that energy from you, not second guessing yourself, but also to have it get rewarded, which is, 99% of the battle in skating. And of course, we've talked about this being your best season thus far. And of course, it was interrupted by this health scare. And we know how important momentum is during a season. You weren't at nationals, you weren't at Four Continents. And your closest competitors, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates of the USA, started their season pretty rocky. But at Four Continents, hit their highest score ever, just about a point over your highest score ever. And of course, you're both going for the gold medal at Worlds, somewhere both teams have never been before. So we're raring up for quite an exciting World Championships in the ice dance event. So my question is, do you feel that this kind of stop in momentum, of course it's not, it was completely out of your control, but this stop in momentum, is this a hindrance or could it potentially be a blessing in disguise?
I mean, I guess we don't know what it'll be. But I think we always, and this is the challenge as athletes, is you have to treat every circumstance that's out of your control as an opportunity, because that's the only way to remain sane and the only way to not give up all the time. I think for us, I think we're really confident in our track record from the Grand Prix season. We haven't really given too much thought to how this break will affect us. I think more than anything, what we really feel going into Worlds is this training setup we have right now is very similar to the training setup we had going into Skate Canada. We had several weeks of training uninterrupted by other competitions, and we could really take the time to get into the programs and work at them and refine, versus simply just kind of managing energy, which is what you have to do when you have so many competitions close together. So I think in that sense, we're in a training position that we're really comfortable with, a training position that we're really familiar with. And that feels good. And it feels nice in a way to have not felt rushed going into Worlds, to not feel so exhausted from just the accumulation of work from the season, because we had some recovery and rest time since the Grand Prix Final. And those are all things that we're happy about going into this event. So I think it's hard to know if it will really affect things. We know when we get to Worlds, if we want to win there, if we want to have the result that we want, if we want to skate we just really need to skate our best. We can't really leave any points on the table. And so a lot of it will come down to how we perform on the day. But I think we're really confident in the preparation that we've had. We feel really comfortable. We feel ready. And that's really all we can take with us.
Beautiful. Let's speak about the Canadian team heading to Saitama with you. We have 3 pair teams led by Stiletto Dudek and Deschamps. We have the 2 dance teams headed by you guys. We have Madeline Skizis in the women, and we have 2 entries in the men's event headed by Keegan Messing. So given the team that's going with you, what do you think Canada's chances are in those other events?
I mean, I think every year Canada puts their best skaters forward. I think, I don't know, I think it's an honor for everybody to be able to go to Worlds and represent their Canadian country. And I think, Deanna and Max having, again, one of their kind of breakout seasons and having their best, it's going to be really exciting to watch them. And I think having some 2 new pair teams that have just kind of teamed up, and some that are coming up from junior kind of have their debut at the World Championships. It's going to be so fun to watch them have their moment. It's a big deal, and us being able to do it a few years. I think we know how important and how special of a moment that will be. So being able to witness that will be really special. And also having Keegan, this being his last World Championships, I think will again have other types of memories and other types of moments. And I think we'll really cherish watching his last performance. And again, with Maddie, I think she's got opportunity to be up there with some of the best ladies in the world. And I think it's going to be exciting to see how she comes through. And yeah, I think we've got a strong team ahead, and I think everybody's just ready to kind of put their best foot forward at the last competition.
Amazing. I'm really excited. Of course, you mentioned Keegan. It's his last season, last year, so this will be his little victory lap, and wishing him the best. And very exciting in both the women and the pairs, like you said, the new teams. Stiletto Dudek having their breakout season. So a lot to look forward to from the Canadian team. And we'll end with this one, and I'm sure you've had it so many times, and I'm sorry to do it to you again, but I'm not. So obviously you're focused on Worlds for next week, but post-Worlds. You guys have been at it for a while, so what is the plan for after Worlds? Are you sticking around for another season? Are you sticking around for an entire quadrennial? Tell us the tea, if there is some.
Are you calling us old?
Yes, yes. Old, ancient, decrepit. I'm kidding. We're literally the same age, so I guess me too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's still a TBD. I think we really definitely didn't want to put pressure on ourselves to get to an event, especially something so important like a World Championships, and feel like this is my last shot at it. I think this year we're really lucky because we'll be performing in Stars on Ice Japan right after the World Championships. So it gives us a bit more time to skate for our Japanese fans, which is not something we've had the opportunity to do in a while, and just allows us to enjoy performing, which is something we did last season. It really allowed us to reconnect with our joy in skating. We also have the opportunity, should Canada qualify, to do the World Team Trophy this year, which is an event we've never done before, but it looks like so much fun. And I think that'll just be such a nice, slightly lower stakes way to finish the season and really compete with a lot of joy and with a little bit less stress. So I think that's something we're really looking forward to. And then we have more Stars on Ice tours in North America. So the next few months look really busy in a way that it's made it hard to kind of think past that. I think, obviously at some point during the spring, we'll have to sit down and decide how we want to proceed and what we want to do and what's motivating us and what's interesting to us at that point. But I think, the next few months are just filled with really wonderful skating opportunities. And I think we want to enjoy each one of those opportunities without worrying about the next thing, because I think every moment is really special. And we want to be able to cherish each one of those moments.
Something very special that, often the cloud of competition and GOEs and key points makes us blind to. So I'm glad that you are really doing it for yourselves and taking every skating opportunity, whether it's competition or ice shows, to just fall in love with who you are as skaters. So really appreciate it. Thank you both so much for joining me yet again. Enjoy your Monday off. And we cannot wait to see you back on the ice in Saitama, Japan for Worlds. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Piper.
Thank you.